Hey everyone, I'm Lugo, and if you've ever dreamed of turning your passion for design into a career, you're in the right place. On this channel, I'll show you how to master architectural and vehicle modeling from scratch, taking you from beginner to pro level. Imagine creating stunning 3D models that could land you freelance gigs or even your dream job. Ready to level up your skills and unlock new opportunities? Let's dive in. Let's dive deeper into working on the exterior walls and elements of our house. Before we get into the details, it's important to remember that everything we do today sets a foundation for what's coming next. Think of this like prepping a canvas before painting a masterpiece. Every step, no matter how small, is crucial to ensuring the final result looks flawless. Today, we'll focus on modeling the missing columns and separating materials by color. It might seem basic at first, but trust me, this will save us a ton of time later when we start applying realistic textures. Now, let's talk about the columns. If you look at the current design, there are areas where the exterior roofs don't have proper support, and that doesn't just affect aesthetics. It also hurts the realism. We'll model those columns from scratch, making sure they're proportioned correctly and placed in just the right spots to keep everything balanced. We don't want them too thick or too thin. They need to visually harmonize with the rest of the structure. Here's a quick tip. If you've already modeled columns elsewhere in a house, you can reuse that design to maintain consistency. Just tweak the height or thickness as needed. It'll save you a lot of time. Once the columns are in place, we'll move on to something just as important: material separation. This might sound boring at first, but it's actually one of the most critical steps for when we apply PBR textures later. The idea is to assign temporary colors to different surfaces, so we can easily distinguish them. For example, we might use a reddish tone for brick walls, light gray for concrete, brown for wood, and maybe a darker shade for metal accents. These colors aren't final. They're just placeholders, so we know which part of the house corresponds to which material. Later, when we work with UV mapping and textures from Polyhaven, this organization will let us apply everything much more efficiently, without getting lost in the process. Now, you might be wondering, why don't we just apply the real textures now? The answer is simple, because we need everything perfectly organized first. If we tried texturing right now without this prep work, we'd end up with inconsistencies and mistakes that would be a nightmare to fix later. Think of it like building a real house. You lay the foundation, put up the walls, and then worry about finishes. Skipping steps just creates problems down the line. Plus, working this way lets us experiment with different material combinations without having to redo everything from scratch. If tomorrow you decide you want stone instead of brick or metal instead of wood, it'll be way easier because you've already got your surfaces clearly separated. Another key detail is that separating materials by color also prepares the model for exporting other rendering software or even game engines. Many professional tools require materials to be properly ID'd before applying complex textures, so this isn't just helpful now. It gives us flexibility for the future. If you've ever worked with Unreal Engine, Blender Cycles, or any other advanced rendering software, you know that good organization from the start makes all the difference. And speaking of organization, don't underestimate the power of naming things properly in your scene. If you leave everything as Mesh 1, Mesh 2, etc., you're going to suffer when the project grows. Instead, if you give things clear names like brick wall underscore front or support column underscore exterior, future you will be grateful. The same goes for layers or object groups. 1 minute of organization now saves hours of frustration later. Finally, even though we're not applying final textures today, it's a good time to start thinking about how we want the exterior to look. We can check out real-world references on monster house plans, or even search for images of houses with similar styles for inspiration. Do we want a rustic look with stone and wood, or something modern with concrete and steel? These choices will influence how we assign temporary colors today. So it's worth taking a moment to visualize the end goal. Remember, the point isn't just to make the house look good, it's to make it feel cohesive with the style we're going for. So, to sum up, today we've laid the groundwork for an incredibly detailed exterior. We modeled the missing columns, separated materials by color, and organized everything to make the next step smoother. In the next video, when we start working with UV mapping and PBR textures, you'll see why all this effort was worth it. For now, make sure everything is well structured and labeled clearly. It'll make the whole process way more enjoyable and error-free. If you have any questions about material separation or scene organization, drop them in the comments, and I'll be happy to help. See you in the next stage of the project.